are you?
Morning, Ali. Yeah, I'm right. I mean,
Clarke, I've got to ask you, mate. What is it with all this negativity all of a sudden from the Arsenal fans, right? They've got an opportunity tomorrow night to go 8 points clear, mate. Surely that must be the way you've got to look at it.
Definitely, it's the way I'm looking at it. And I think most sensible Arsenal fans are trying to look at it that way. But when you've led the Premier League the entire season, and then you just sense that it's slipping away and you're starting to put in some of your poorest performances of the season, then I suppose it's human nature, isn't it, to say, oh, here we go, we've blown it, it's not going to happen. Maybe it's a protectionism, Ali. Okay. I think maybe just to sort of just play it down. It's not going to happen. And then if it does happen, it's going to feel even sweeter, isn't it? But I'm still positive. I'm just buzzing, I've got to say, to be in a match of this magnitude, or to have a horse in the race. We sat and watched other teams be involved in title deciders for way too long, so I'm just glad to be in it.
How are they going to set up? Because if there is no Saliba, as we are led to believe, again, I put a lot of the problems at the back down to when Saliba's not there, because he's just been so good, hasn't he, for Arsenal? So what do they do against Manchester City tomorrow?
It is a good question, and I've heard a lot of theories. A lot of people are knocking around ideas of formation changes, of doing this, of playing this player in that position. I'm not sure that's what Mikel Arteta is going to do. Yes, the team needs to play with caution. They need to be full of amazing concentration without the ball. On the ball, they've got to look after it like they did against Liverpool in that first half, keep the ball away from City as much as they can. But I don't think disrupting the formation and chopping and changing too many things is the way forward. Arsenal have got to this position playing a certain way, a certain formation. And I think they've got to stick to what their strengths are, personally. And try and protect Rob Holding's lack of pace a little bit. But you can only really do that by working extra hard without the ball. And I think that's what Arsenal are going to have to do in this game. I don't see the sense in ripping up plan A completely. I really don't. They've got to play to their strengths. And for me, Arsenal's strengths are going forward. Saka and Martinelli in particular is on fire at the moment. Jesus would have a point to prove, and Odegaard. Those four can go and win Arsenal this match. I believe in those guys to go and do it, but it's going to take 8s and 9s out of 10 from everybody. An unbelievable concentration to keep City at bay. I think it's going to be a great game. I really do.
So do I, Clarke. I've got to say, really, really looking forward to it. Still, people forgetting, still undefeated. They're on a great run. When I say undefeated, they're on a great run. I know they've dropped points, but in terms of not losing games, there's still a mentality there. If you're looking for it to be half full rather than half empty, there's not many teams who go back 3-1 down again, no matter who it is. I know Southampton bottom of the league, but that tells you actually the strength of the league, I think. You know what I mean? The one for me, probably, Clarke, was the West Ham game. I think a point at Liverpool's not bad, but the one that maybe put doubts in a lot of people's minds would have been the West Ham game. That said, the wee man scores a penalty. I think it's a comfortable victory.
Definitely, yeah, that was the one that slipped away. I think it turns out to be a good point against Southampton. The same against Liverpool. West Ham, Arsenal should have kept them at bay. Individual mistakes have crept into Arsenal's game in recent weeks. Now, why has that happened? I think you have to talk about pressure. You have to talk about the young team not being involved in the title race before. It's new to all of them. It's new to the manager as well. And I do think that some of the players have tensed up a little bit, and maybe their decision-making hasn't been what it was earlier in the season. That doesn't mean that they're going to crumble at the Etihad. It just means that, maybe they've started to let the situation affect them. They just need to refocus, stay cool. And maybe now that it's kind of not in their hands anymore, the pressure will be eased a touch, and they can go and play with that freedom that we've seen all season. They have scored more away goals than anyone else in the Premier League. They have, I think, only failed to score in one away game. So look, if City are going to win this game, they're going to have to score goals, I think, to beat Arsenal. But it's going to be a big one, that is for sure. But I do not think that this is the time to maybe try something fancy. We saw Tottenham, and I can't resist bringing up Tottenham at the weekend. Sorry. So I think Laura probably appreciate it, but they tried to go with a back four, a different formation, and look what happened to them inside 20 minutes. I think Arsenal will go same again, but we all know they need to proceed with caution at the Etihad and you know, kind of play with a deepish back four, the two sitting midfielders, and hope those front four can go and win Arsenal the game on the break.
Lots some fresh legs as well. I was at Wembley at the weekend and I was looking at their bench. We were sat just behind it and they had Edison, the goalkeeper. They had Ruben Diaz. They had Rodri. They had Kevin De Bruyne. They had Phil Foden. And I looked at all of them and I was like, oh, ouch. Just a quick one as well. I wanted to ask you about Luton Borough last night. 2-1 win for Luton. They're sitting in the third and fourth spot, respectively, those guys, in the playoffs, just below Sheffield United and Burnley, of course, those two first and second. What did you make of that?
Yeah, it was, well, look, Luton keep piling on the pressure for Sheffield United, but I think the Blades are going to be okay. They only need one win from their last four matches. So I think Sheffield United are heading towards the Premier League, but Luton Town, what an achievement. You know, the third best team in the Championship. It's a tiny ground, a small budget, just very well run club, very well managed by Rob Edwards at the moment. I mean, they were lucky last night. I don't know if you saw the penalty that won the game. Never a penalty in a million years. It was half dive, half stumble from Carlton Morris as he went round the keeper, and it was his 20th of the season. But look, Luton go into the playoffs in unbelievable form, unbeaten in 12. I don't think Borough will be affected by what happened. They made 5 changes. It's almost as if they're sort of not downing tools, but they're looking towards the playoffs already. So I don't think they'll be too bothered by the result. They're definitely in the playoffs.
Yeah, we had a Luton fan on earlier on the text. I can't find his name, and he said, "Look, we're due a favour. Basically, we're due a call in our favour for once." Listen, Clarkey, thank you for bringing some positivity to us this morning.
Enjoy tomorrow, mate.
As always.
I will try to. Thanks for having me on.
All right, we'll speak to you next week and see how it all went.
talkSPORT Breakfast with Laura Woods. Monday to Wednesday mornings 6 till 10. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.